If you've heard about Spravato, a newly FDA-approved treatment for depression, you've probably heard it associated with ketamine and may have wondered if it's the same or how similar Spravato is to ketamine. Coming up, I'll review some key similarities and differences between the two. Stick around. Hi everyone, I'm Julia Swafford. I am a psychiatric nurse practitioner in Vancouver, Washington, and this is Real Talk Mental Health in Vancouver, Washington, where we discuss mental health treatment from the provider's perspective. We have people reaching out to us every single day with questions about Spravato and wondering if it's the same as ketamine, so I thought I'd jump on here and make a little video comparing the two. If this kind of content interests you, please click the subscribe button and click the little notification bell to get notified when we release new videos. Okay, ketamine and Spravato are similar, but they are not exactly the same. They have a similar molecular makeup and the same mechanism of action, but Spravato, or also called esketamine, is what we call an S isomer of ketamine, meaning it is essentially a mirror image of ketamine. Spravato and ketamine have the same relationship to each other as two common antidepressants you might know, Celexa and Lexapro. Their generic names are citalopram and S-citalopram. So having the ES, the S in front of a chemical name, signifies that it is an S isomer of the first chemical, and therefore that they're pretty similar to each other. Typically though, an S isomer has more affinity or binds more tightly at the intended receptor site, and that is true of esketamine, which binds more tightly at the NMDA receptor and thereby creates a more sustained increase of glutamate, which is the action of the NMDA receptor. Also, S isomers often cause less side effects, and that's also usually true with Spravato. So we tend to see less of a dissociation or less of a high feeling disconnected with esketamine compared to ketamine, which is why Spravato, or esketamine, is considered to be a little bit safer and a little less risky in terms of abuse potential compared to ketamine. Certainly both Spravato and ketamine can be abused, and so Spravato is still tightly regulated. You might know that ketamine has been used to treat depression for several years as a nasal spray and through IV treatments in clinics. That began in 2012. Clinically, when I've had patients who've had both treatments, ketamine and Spravato, I tend to see the patient respond more quickly to ketamine and they have a stronger dissociation. And the response to Spravato tends to be more sustained over time with less of a high feeling with each treatment. Okay, you ready for a little history? Okay, briefly. Ketamine was first developed in 1962. In 1970, it was approved for use as a dissociative anesthetic for surgery in animals and humans, meaning it can block pain, but also help a person disconnect mentally and emotionally from the surgery, which is good, and it's still used for that purpose. So that's where we sometimes hear that ketamine is a horse tranquilizer. Yeah, that's kind of true. But obviously it does much more than that. Ketamine began to be abused as a party drug in the 80s because of its fast-acting, floaty, dreamy, dissociative effects. Ketamine was first studied psychiatrically starting in the 1960s as an adjunct in psychotherapy for trauma, and that was kind of abandoned once it started to become abused. Americans used ketamine in the Vietnam War to treat badly wounded soldiers, and it began to show some benefits for trauma there as well. Researchers officially began looking at ketamine for treatment-resistant depression in 2006, and clinics began offering it in 2012, though it was never approved by the FDA. In 2019, Spravato was approved by the FDA for treatment-resistant depression. Both Spravato and ketamine seem to offer pretty good results for treatment-resistant depression, but for most people, Spravato will provide more sustainable results, and of course, having your health insurance cover the brunt of the cost limits the outpatient cost for the patient, whereas ketamine is paid entirely out of pocket, so that's an extra bonus. Woo, okay. So the reason we just went through all of that is so you can be an informed consumer. A lot of people have a misconception that Spravato and ketamine are party drugs and used just to get high, and that if they use them for depression, they might get addicted or worse. So I hope the information in this video was interesting to you like it is to me, and shows you that there's a rich context and history here, and that though there is an abuse potential, it's less likely with Spravato than with ketamine. And there's also an incredible potential for help with depression if you're really struggling. I'm guessing if you're watching this video, you may be struggling with depression and anxiety, and maybe you feel stuck. We talk to people about their depression and anxiety every single day, and I love being able to help people with advanced treatment options like Spravato. Hang in there, reach out for help, and if you're in the Portland or Vancouver area, reach out to us at TMS Northwest. We would absolutely love to help you. We have people reaching out all the time to talk about advanced treatment options like TMS and Spravato, and we would love, love, love to hear from you. Thanks you guys for watching, and see you next time.